Ethiopia has confirmed its first ever outbreak of the Marburg virus, a highly contagious and often deadly disease related to Ebola. Health officials say that emergency teams have been deployed to the affected region. The World Health Organization has released $300,000 from its contingency fund to support Ethiopia in containing the spread of the virus. Countries neighboring Ethiopia have stepped up surveillance along their borders as a precaution. Aman Kumar Himanshu has more.
Just as the world was beginning to recover from the COVID-19 pandemic, comes a grim warning from the World Health Organization. At least 9 people in Ethiopia have been infected with the deadly Marburg virus. The alert came after some people in southern Ethiopia reported high fever and bleeding. Laboratory tests supported by the WHO confirmed the presence of the Marburg virus, marking one of the most serious public health emergencies the region has faced in recent years. As of now, 17 cases have been identified in the region of Jinka City in the south of the country. Another 129 people who were in contact with the infected are being monitored. Ethiopia's Ministry of Health confirmed that 3 people have died. WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said that his organization is working with Ethiopian authorities to contain the spread of the virus and to support medical teams on the ground. Attention is focused on identifying all suspected cases, isolating those infected, and enhancing surveillance in surrounding areas. Monitoring along the country's borders has also been heightened, reflecting concerns that the virus could spread across eastern Africa if not quickly contained. On 13th November, the WHO released $300,000 from its contingency fund for emergencies to support Ethiopia. The Marburg virus disease is considered one of the most dangerous virus infections known to humankind. The virus belongs to the Filoviridae family, which includes Ebola. Both cause sudden high fever, headache, and bleeding, which begins about 1 week after the onset of symptoms. The disease is transmitted through direct contact with the body fluids of infected people or contaminated surfaces. As per the WHO, the Marburg virus is capable of killing half of the people it infects. It was first identified in 1967 during outbreaks among laboratory workers in Germany and Serbia who had handled infected primates. Scientists consider that the virus, which takes its origin from fruit bats, spills over to humans before spreading in the community. Patients admitted to hospitals displayed a range of symptoms common to many viral diseases, but those who died showed signs of hemorrhagic fever. Current statistics indicate an 88% mortality rate. The WHO reported that sporadic cases have been reported in sub-Saharan Africa, which includes Angola, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Ghana, Kenya, Equatorial Guinea, Rwanda, South Africa, Tanzania, and Uganda. Last year, Rwanda reported an outbreak that affected at least 66 people, with 15 deaths. In 2005, this virus killed 300 people in Angola. The Marburg virus can spread quickly in the body, infecting and destroying cells in the blood, liver, and skin. Once someone is infected, the virus incubates for 5 to 10 days. It then presents with sudden onset of fever, headache, and muscle pain, as well as bleeding in the skin and mucous membranes. The mouth, eyes, gastrointestinal tract, and internal organs are often affected too. In severe cases, people can experience neurological paralysis. Coagulation disorders associated with the virus can cause what is known as a hemorrhagic shock that can lead to organ and circulatory failure and death. Without intensive medical care, most infected people die. Till now, no licensed vaccines or antiviral drugs are available for curing Marburg. Treatment fully depends on supportive care such as rehydration, maintenance of electrolyte balance, and management of the symptoms. Public health experts say that rapid identification of cases and isolation remains amongst the most potent weapons in breaking the chain of transmission. Authorities in neighboring Kenya and South Sudan are on high alert to prevent cross-border transmission of the virus. Kenya's National Public Health Institute has issued a warning to all countries to strengthen preparedness and response measures after Ethiopia confirmed the virus outbreak. South Sudan's government says that it has stepped up vigilance along its borders following the virus outbreak in Ethiopia. South Sudan's Health Minister Sarah Clito Rial said the government, together with the World Health Organization and other partners, has intensified surveillance, preparedness, and response measures to prevent any importation and spread of the virus. However, healthcare symptoms in both countries remain strained, and in South Sudan, the impact of a 7-year civil conflict has further weakened medical infrastructure, making early detection and prevention efforts even more critical. Africa is facing a growing risk of outbreaks caused by zoonotic pathogens. According to a WHO analysis, there has been a 63% increase in the number of zoonotic outbreaks in the region in the decade from 2012 to 2022 compared to 2001 to 2011. Cameroon, Liberia, Nigeria, and Zambia may differ starkly in terms of geography, history, culture, and resources, but one thing these 4 African countries share is a common worry. Zoonosis, diseases transmitted between animals and humans via direct or indirect contacts, are a growing risk. Cameroon and Nigeria are Mpox endemic countries, having witnessed several cross-species outbreaks of the viral infection formerly known as monkeypox in recent years. Liberia has been struck by several outbreaks of Ebola. Between 2014 and 2016, Ebola outbreak caused over 4,800 deaths in Liberia alone and strained the country's healthcare system. Bushmeat consumption has become a major public health concern across parts of Central and Western Africa. Despite repeated warnings from health experts, many communities continue to rely on wild animal meat, not only as a traditional delicacy but also as an accessible source of protein. Health experts warn that handling or eating contaminated bush meat can trigger outbreaks of dangerous zoonotic diseases, including anthrax, which naturally occurs in wildlife and livestock. The steady demand for bush meat in urban centers also makes hunting a lucrative source of income, increasing human-wildlife contact and raising the risk of disease transmission. Officials say that reducing dependence on bushmeat, strengthening community awareness, and improving surveillance are essential steps to preventing future outbreaks. According to health experts, most zoonotic cases originate from regions in Asia and Africa. An unprecedented shift in human population is one reason why more diseases originate in Asia and Africa. Rapid urbanization is happening throughout Asia and the Pacific regions, where 60% of the world already lives. According to the World Bank, almost 200 million people moved to urban areas in Eastern Asia during the first decade of the 21st century. To put that into perspective, 200 million people could form the 8th most populous country in the world. Migration on that scale means forest land is destroyed to create residential areas. Wild animals forced to move closer to cities and towns inevitably encounter domestic animals and human populations. Wild animals often harbor viruses. Bats, for instance, can carry hundreds of them, and viruses jumping species to species can ultimately infect people. Eventually, extreme urbanization becomes a vicious cycle. More people bring more deforestation, and human expansion and the loss of habitat ultimately kills off predators, including those that feed off rodents. With the predators gone, or at least with their numbers sharply diminished, the rodent population explodes. And as studies in Africa show, that increase in rodents also raises the risk of diseases spreading from animals to humans. On the African continent, the situation is only likely to get worse. A major proportion of Eastern Africa's population still lives in rural areas. Urbanization is expected to continue for decades. Aman Kumar Himanshu for DD India.